The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride. And we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. This has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever.
Look at the power of the human spirit, and more than just the spirit, the power of the mind, and distinguishing between the mind and the brain. Some people say that the brain is a computer, but he said, no, beyond that, there is something, there is deity within you. There is that, that spark, that divine thing, and it stems from creation, that thing that is soul.
Does religion matter to you much?
Oh, deeply. I mean, it comes from years ago when I used to treat it more in kind of that cosmic sense, like Einstein said. When you look around and you see all of it, you have to realize there's some, method behind it all. And truly your sense of awe and your sense of wonder. And then you begin to approach that. And then from the painful issues, can you be angry at that? Or do you kind of start to go beyond and look at it all and realize not to be bitter, not to be angry, but to still keep trying and not give up on people, and to wander into the world and to put your heart and soul behind trying to still keep things going. Not to accept it and just say, well, it's the way it is. And to trying to help these children, if you can't cure it, and to make their life wonderful now, and to to try and do these things that that allows them to have a wonderful life despite this. Not just for your own family, but for the family of man. That we are one species, and we are endangered. We are we are basically destroying ourselves from within unless you wise up and start to take certain measures. On all levels. And that's where you have. And it's what this 3.5 pound gland that we have, the one cure lies within the same thing that is causing a lot of the pain, is this. There are very few mammals that, kill each other off, except for rats. We have to evolve up, somehow take the leap to evolve the emotional level with this intellect that can create amazing machines that can save life, but also create amazing machines that can take it. These are the things that it's happening. Will we catch up to ourselves? Will we somehow be in control of that? We still have these primitive urges that used to make me take, it's when we were like running around going, but now we have a big stick that basically burns everything. Gone. These are the things that you have to, you try, you play with. With the comic, you play with it, but you're still playing with pain.
Metaphor is the only language we have to speak of God. Metaphor means always true, sometimes really happen. Because what's interesting about the Bible, one of the weird things about that text, is that it's metaphor overlain with history. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like metaphorized history, and we don't know where the line is. And if you've taken psychedelics, and that was a huge part of my appreciation of metaphor, but when you're trying to talk about the ineffable, metaphor isn't just as close as you can get, it's the only way to do it. It stirs you and moves you in a way that the truth of it is it's true in the way that energy moves in the world. It's true in the way the patterns of the universe are reflected in the story. Because you can tell a story and it's bullshit, but the metaphors and the myths that stick with us, they'll rock you. You hear it and your skin's lit on fire, and we're fucking stuck with numbers and measurements and recipes. Like, get the fuck out of here. None of that shit helps you when your heart is broken. None of that helps when your grandfather is dying or when a baby is born. Like, poetry is similar. We'll get that shit out of here until your wife leaves you. Then William Blake gets a lot more important. But we've become obsessed with the quantifiable and the reproducible and the material, and it's like, okay, but we're leaving a lot in our rear view that's essential. It's easy to do the same with spirituality. Be like, it's a bunch of lies. Yeah, Santa Claus isn't real. Great, but what is the story of Santa Claus? What is the point? What is done in secret is rewarded, or whatever it might be. God is a metaphor for a mystery that absolutely transcends all categories of human thought, including being and non-being. Old, he's older than you. He's been around. In the sky, has a higher perspective than you. On a throne, he's powerful. Sure, these are just ways of understanding a force, right? Something unknown is doing something we know not what. Barry Taylor, the road manager for AC/DC, says, God is the name of the blanket we put over the mystery to give it a shape. God is the name of the blanket we put over the mystery to give it a shape. And I say, shouldn't we have learned this in church? Why am I learning this from the road manager for AC/DC?
There's people that want to create wounds that will not heal. That's the turn on for them. I'm just going to end this by quoting Michelle Eileen McNamara. It's chaos, be kind.
I believe that God is in control, no matter what I worry about. That only my efforts are my own, and then the results have nothing to do with me. That I do what I think is best, but I just don't know what's best, because I'm just a guy. But I trust that this creation has a purpose. It proves that something perfect exists. We have to believe in something.
Right.
Otherwise, why would you continue? My father's main thing, he would never tell me what to do, which you got things, a strange way to grow up. His thing was you have to be able to make decisions, which is a real counterintuitive way. And sometimes I used to think it was to my detriment, but the older I get, I understand why he raised me that way. He might help me sort through the pieces, but he wouldn't really put the puzzle together. This is the most important thing, I think, for stability is you never see a kid who was abused with that kind of confidence, or a kid who was neglected with that kind of confidence. Just sometimes knowing that somebody cares inspires you and empowers you to be courageous. That's the thing in our family. I don't think I ever leave my children's presence without letting them know I love them, because I never know what's going to happen anyway. Community is everything, and fostering trust amongst each other, that's everything. Whatever you guys argue about the specifics, we got to trust that there'll be a livable level of decency.
I believe that I had to become a famous idea and get all the stuff that people dream about and accomplish a bunch of things that look like success in order to give up my attachment to those things. It's been a part of the evolution of ego, is to spend your first half of your life acquiring and adding, thinking you can add to yourself. And it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got nice clothes and you know, and you've done something that people admire, but it can never fulfill you. You can never be happy. You know what I mean? It's not where happiness comes from. And you know, I dealt with depression, you know, a few years ago, and people still think, well, he's going through, you can tell he's depressed. And it's not. I have no depression in my life whatsoever. Literally none. The happy place is realizing that you're everything and that there's no real you involved in the first place. It's a weird little semantic jump that you make where it sounds like, well, that's totally fucking threatening, man. I can't not be me. I've built this construct. It's just ideas. Right. They're just ideas.
People overthink this life shit. People get all knotted up. I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I don't know, like, what I should be, or like, I don't know. It's like, what should I like do with my life? Just get food, put it in the, put food in here. That's it. Put food in here. Walk around and look for food. And anytime you see any food, put it in here. Just take it and put it in here. Later, when you feel pressure, shit out the shit in there. That's it. If anybody tries to stop you from doing either of those, murder them. That's it.